YouTube, how's it freaking going? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's fucking pouring rain outside. I'm not gonna lie, not a fan of the rain. Definitely bothering me a bit. Hopefully the camera's not shaking too much. A little peculiar spot here. Maybe that's better. But I won't lie, when I see it raining first thing in the morning, and for you guys that aren't aware, your boys go on our runs first thing in the morning. When I say run, nothing too crazy, perhaps a K, probably gonna work up to 2K, slowly but steady. And hopefully, again, the rain's not overpowering what I'm saying. But when I wake up and I see it's raining, I fucking love it, man. I really do. Because it's those points and times that you determine and you figure out who the fuck you really are. I can look at the rain and then I look at my warm ass bed and I'm like, oh, the bed looks so comfortable. The pillows look so comfortable. All these thoughts go through your mind, of course, because you're looking for the easy way out. That inner fucking bitch, guys. I always say that the inner bitch, everyone has it. Everyone needs to ignore it because you can never really get rid of it, but you can mitigate it. And when I had these tests of going for a run in the rain versus staying in the warm, cozy bed, that's the very things that are going to help mitigate that inner voice, or inner bitch rather. So just remember that, right? There's no excuse to why you're not doing the things you need to do, regardless of the rain or not. Just dress just dressing accordingly, right? Even in the snow or cold, dress accordingly. That's the name of the game. And in terms of the rain, I mean, I gotta wear a hood, man. I'm not trying to get my head soaked up and whatnot, and my shoes aren't the best, so my socks get freaking soaked. But again, not an excuse to not get it done. And today, to be honest, has been, it's a lot later than it typically is. Typically, I go to the gym, it's about 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. rather. And today's 11. So, Mr. Bandit, which has probably been a couple videos, not too many, had a little cut. So, my cat had a little cut on his leg, had to bring him to the vet, made sure he got all, bandaged up and whatnot, got his stitches. And, a little, I guess you could say, a little annoying in terms of the timing, but of course, I gotta make sure that he's okay. And I love Bandit, man. He's a great cat. But why I'm saying this, guys, is because I can look at that, oh, it's 11 o'clock, a lot later than I typically do, and in my mind, I'll be like, I'm not gonna go to the gym. Fuck that inner bitch. That's the inner bitch talking again, guys, right? No matter what's going on, you always make time for the things that matter, and you guys got to remember that. And even if you are very limited on time, guys, you could do push-ups, you could do a quick workout. Just do something, right? You got to make it count. You got to make every day count, and you got to do the very things that you need to do. But I also want to talk upon something. I know these Chris's talks in the car. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. If you do, drop a comment down below, because I need to know. I need to know whether these are annoying or whatnot, but I try to express how I'm feeling and give you guys a little bit of insight on what goes through my mind. But core values, guys, what are your core values? What are your core values? What are things about you that are just undeniables, right? For me, it's going to the gym, right? It's doing hard shit. It's doing the things I need to do to get to where I want to be. Respect. There's a lot of different things, guys. You got to understand what your core values are. Write it down. Really live by them. Right? Core values could be not drinking on the weekdays. There's a lot of different core values that you guys have to have. And why it's important to have those core values is because I do preach to you guys about having a tribe, but a group of individuals who are like-minded and driven to get to where they want to be. And when you have that sort of success or rather ambition around you, it fuels you, right? And those are the type of people you have. We're not fucking island people. Shout out Bajers Coolian, by the way. This is a man who's very influential in my life. Listen to his podcast all the time. And I agree with all the shit he says, right? You gotta have a tribe of people that are ambitious and like-minded because you feed off of each other. We're not fucking meant to be islands, guys. We're meant to work together. Human beings are social creatures. We're supposed to communicate. But you got to communicate with the right people to influence you to become better. And when you know your core values, and it's a lot easier to identify people that align with your core values. So understand what your core values are, guys. And that applies not just to friendships, but that applies to relationships too. Because you can't go and be with a woman that doesn't necessarily align with your core values. Now, people change, right? People are changed. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, there's certain undeniables that need to be applied to certain things, right? So you guys got to remember that. But without further ado, it's fucking gym time. Now, as I alluded to in the car, guys, I did come a little later than I typically do, which kind of throws off my schedule a bit. Again, no excuses, but this means I'm gonna have to play within those bounds, which means today's workout's gotta be a little bit quicker than typical, which means drop sets. So any of you guys ever in a rush or whatnot, drop sets are definitely to go to along with supersets. And I do say that before, or rather I have said that before, where you're doing 2 exercises in 1 set. So obviously it's gonna cut your workout in half if you really think about it that way. But today's arms. So we're gonna do biceps, triceps. Not gonna do forearms today. I'm gonna do forearms when I hit shoulders, just because again, it'll time restraint. But we're gonna be doing a drop set of the triceps, and then right afterwards, gonna go over to biceps, gonna be doing a drop set of that. Now, minus the recording, I'm not gonna rest in between these sets. If I need to lower the weight, I will. Of course, if I'm fatigued, you know, I should mention, like, if I'm able to do the same weight right after doing it, by just resting by doing the biceps, then obviously I'm not doing a good enough weight to where I'm getting the stimulus required for my muscles to grow. So you guys gotta remember that. Like when I say this, like I'm lowering the weight as I go, because of course, as I'm going, I'm gonna fatigue, right? It's just the way it is. And if I'm not, if I'm capable of just not taking much of a rest at all, because regardless, if I'm doing biceps or triceps, my arms are still in motion, right? My heart rate's still elevated. I'm still fatiguing myself, regardless of if I'm hitting biceps or triceps. So this is gonna be harder going on into the next set. So if like I said, if I am capable of doing the same weight for 2 sets consecutively, kind of like that, then of course that's kind of a concern to me. It means I'm not pushing myself hard enough in those sets. But I'm gonna be doing 12 reps each drop, 3 drops in total. I also wanted to mention something, because I do read a lot, believe it or not. And I think I mentioned a book I'm reading, which is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. So shout out Mark Manson, great book. And the current chapter that I'm reading, kind of something I've spoken about, but it instills it even more, which is taking responsibility for everything, right? And to some people, they don't like to hear that, because they don't like taking responsibility for shit. But if you're not happy with the way your life is right now, it's because of decisions you made, and you need to take responsibility for that. And on a deeper level, if you get into a breakup or something like that, like, yeah, they put you in that position, but you are responsible for getting yourself out of the sadness that you endure, right? You are responsible for your own happiness. So you gotta remember that. But I don't want to stand for too long, because like I said, I am in a rush today, so we're gonna do some triceps first. A little push down with a straight bar. 12 reps each drop, so let's get it. A little light on the weight. Now we drop 1, just 1 click. I'm not doing 2 this time. Last drop. Already feeling the fucking burn, man. Right into the biceps. Last drop. Wow, definitely give this a try. Remember, if you guys are ever in a rush, drop sets, supersets, that's the way to go. It does mitigate the amount of time you are spending in between rests, right? And you are getting a long set, but at the end of the day, time under tension's there. You wanna make every rep count. choosing a weight that you could control, of course. And as you progress, like I said, you are gonna fatigue. But we're gonna do this for 3 sets. That's 2 down, 1 more to go. Let's get it. Even after completing that set, guys, I'm fucking feeling it, right? I mean, doing drop sets and then supersetting it with another drop set it's pretty fucking crazy. Because then in 1 set, if you do the math, it's 6 sets all in all, right? Because there's 3 drops on both. So times that by 3, right? It's quite a lot. 18 in total and 1 per 1 set. Of course, it's divided between arms, so 9 each arm, or side of the arm, bicep, tricep. But we're still gonna work, right? I'm probably gonna do about 3 of these in total, I think. Maybe 4, we'll see how we're feeling after the 3rd. But this is the second one, which you're gonna do an overhead tricep extension. Big thing about this, guys, a lot of people do wrong is they put it too high. They put the cable too high. You don't have to put it too high to the point where you're kind of coming down like this. I like to have it more so in line with my head level. That way when I grab it, the whole motion of this is to bring it forward, right? But to keep my elbows in place. Because the moment I start moving my elbows as well, I'm mitigating the amount of tricep usage, right? And prime mover in this exercise is the triceps, so that should be what you're trying to isolate, which again, in turn works towards how weightlifting's 50%, more than 50% mental, right? Where you gotta think about the movement, the form, and also the muscles being worked and being engaged correctly. But definitely an insane exercise. I did the first set already. It's pretty insane. There's also another benefit of doing this particular exercise is you have to use your core to stabilize yourself. So you are using stabilizer muscles on this, because if not, you'd be moving around, right? So you need to make sure that you're getting in the right stance as well so that you can maintain the form as well as the weight, right? Because sometimes people pick too heavy weight and they struggle to get it out. And then when they let go, they slam it, right? We're trying to slam weights out here. We're trying to do it correctly and also putting it back, right? I should also mention, when I was doing my tricep extensions, I noticed the camera angle wasn't the best. And why I'm talking about this is because it ain't about getting it right the first time, right? It's about learning from it and getting better at it. So hopefully the angles are gonna get better, and that's kind of a little analogy from what I'm doing myself that you guys can apply to yourselves, right? Just can't expect to get things perfectly the first time. You gotta learn from it and do better, right? So hopefully this angle's better, right? It's a little hard though, I won't lie. It is hard to get the angles right, especially when it's a back, like showing my back like that, because I can't have eyes on the camera. But thankfully for the next 2 movements I do. But I don't want to chit chat too long. This is set number 2. Let's get right into this. Next drop. Definitely feel like the form is being compromised on these later sets, which is also why it's good to look back at the footage, right? Because that way I can see where I'm kind of going wrong. And I do think my left arm is being worked more than my right now, so I'm gonna measure that when I'm actually doing a set here. Three more. 1, 2, 3, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think in one of the sets there, my left hand was a little farther forward than my right, and it was being used more. So I gotta remember to make sure that I don't do that again next set, but right into biceps. Decided to change it up from how I typically do it, which is facing the cable. I'm gonna do it facing away from the cable, but I gotta be careful that the cable doesn't go up my crotch area. But also so I can view the camera better. So let's get first drop. Two more, two more. Last drop. Holy. If it was easy, wouldn't have no value. Remember that, guys. You gotta do hard shit. Get better. Halfway, halfway. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, biceps are fucked up right now, not gonna lie. Absolutely felt it there. Definitely a hard set. Definitely give this a try, guys. We're gonna do this for one more set, 3 sets of everything, but I'm gonna do one more after this, so let's get done. All right, we're gonna do our finisher here, which, I mean, to be fair, any of these fucking exercise slash sets could be considered finishers. But a lot of people like to do tricep extensions using the rope. So basically just doing this, right? Versus what I like to do, and you'll notice I had the rope there, but I decided to do an overhead extension rather than the typical just down extension, or push down rather. That's because I like to do more of a cross motion with single-handed cables on both sides. So I'll grab one cable here, I'll grab another cable there, and I'll come across, right? So my arm motion's coming more on the diagonal rather than coming fixated like this. And I always like doing that because that way I'm equally distributing the weight between each arms, versus when I'm doing this, sometimes I can compensate. As I was talking about when I was doing the overhead press, actually, where my left arm started to take a little bit of, what's the word? I guess it became more of a prime mover, I guess. I don't know really, can't remember the word at the top of my head, but it became more used than the other one. So I mean, that's because of the way I was holding it. It's probably holding it similarly to like that. But that's just kind of one of the negatives when you got a double-handed movement, because again, one side might take up more than the other, right? So it's good to have those single-hand movements as well. That way, you know, you're getting the exact same out of both. But definitely try this one out. Definitely one of the ones that I enjoy the most. Probably one of my top favorite tricep movements, to be fair. That or skull crushers. Skull crushers are definitely a beautiful thing. However, getting a bench is pretty fucking difficult to do. Similarly with the incline curls, which again, I haven't done in a while, but I'm gonna have to get a bench eventually and then do those. But it's pretty hard to get a bench, right? So let's get right into this set. 3 drops, last set here. We're gonna make sure we're making it count. I know I'm fatigued. You're probably gonna be fatigued if you're following along with this workout, but you got to get it done, right? We're here to get it done, right? We're not here to fuck around. We're not here to do easy, half-ass it. Come in here with a mission. You got to leave the same way that you came in, right? Rather, well, you got to leave with the same mindset that you had coming in, right? 'Cause it's easy to have a mindset prior to actually doing something, but as you fatigue and you go through it, it gets a little harder. Remember that. Kind of where the discipline comes into play. Let's get right into this. So our first drop. Don't have to go super heavy on this either. It's kind of humbling because you're gonna go to the bottom weight, or rather the last weight there. I can't even put the pin through it. Okay, last drop. Can't even put the pins through the holes because there is no holes on this one. It's not about the weight, guys, it's about how you're feeling and the stimulus occurring. Going right into the bicep movement. Okay, we're gonna be doing drag curls now. For you guys that aren't aware what drag curls are, because honestly I don't really see it happen too much. Drag curls are meant to target the long head of the biceps so you get a greater range of motion. But you could also do a little bit heavier weight here. So you guys gotta keep that in mind, especially when you're doing these movements. We're not trying to chase comfort here, guys. We're trying to chase hardship, because hard is what's gonna help you grow and become better, right? So if it's easy, why the fuck are you doing it? All right, almost there. This is the last set. I decided I would record the last set this time. That way you guys can see how it is when I'm fatigued. Last drop here, last reps too. Let's get it done. Last one. Wow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys smash that like button. I heard it gives you extra gains. Only one way to find out. Hit the sub button if you're new, guys. We're on route to 1,000 subscribers by the end of April. We're going to work hard for it, guys. We're not stopping. We're putting in that work. At time of this recording, we're at 789. So I appreciate, or sorry, 889. Wow. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys truly are amazing. I appreciate the support so very much, guys. We're going to become better, right? And it's all about becoming better every single day, 1% better. Focus on what you guys can get better at every single day. Perhaps focus on what you're doing wrong, right? Because sometimes we don't like to focus on what we're doing wrong. We only like to focus on what we're doing right. But hey, there's a lot to be learned in the very things we're doing wrong. And you know, no one's perfect. There's always something you are doing wrong, and there's always room for improvement, right? There's no such thing as perfection, guys. The only thing perfect in this world is you. There's no mistakes with you. Remember that. Have a blessed day. Get done what you need to get done and find your impetus. Goodbye.